Hi, my tubies. It's me, Sheila True Love, here with you. And today I want to talk about something that I found to be very disturbing. It's we're going to be talking about news. It's two male sex workers killed, married down low man because they wanted money to celebrate their birthdays. Now, this is a man who was married, but he was living on the down low, and he ended up getting what he got. Okay, let's talk about this. I'm going to be sharing this information with you, and it's coming from Dawson Dennis, who's he has an excellent channel when it comes to reporting the news and discussing the news. He listens to the news, shares it, and then he gives his viewpoint. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. Okay, listen to this.
Earlier today, right near Fort Lauderdale, local 10 News reporter Erica Rako is live at that scene with the very latest. Erica. Well, a man in his 40s named Ferris Finley was found shot to death inside his pickup truck right here along this neighborhood street near Fort Lauderdale. Investigators are still searching for whoever killed him, and his family is beside themselves. His wife was actually out of town. She's now traveling back home following this news.
He's a loving brother. He'd do anything for anybody. So I don't know why and who would want to kill him like this. I don't know why. Oh my God.
Family members distraught, gathering together on Northwest 8th Street at 28th Avenue near Fort Lauderdale, where Ferris Finley was shot and killed early this morning.
He just got shot. Somebody shot him and killed him. They didn't rob him. They just killed him.
Finley was found dead in his white pickup truck after someone called 911 to report hearing gunshots fired around 3 a.m. Broward County Sheriff's deputies blocked off the neighborhood, first searching for the shooter, then while they collected evidence and spoke with witnesses. Finley's family says he's a husband, a father, a hard worker.
Now, remember what you heard here. Everybody saying he's such a nice guy. He's a husband, a father. He's friendly. He's great. Why would anyone do this? Wait till you find out why.
And they're now begging for anyone who knows anything about what happened to come forward.
Whoever did this, please turn yourself in, because he don't deserve this. He don't bother nobody. He really don't bother nobody.
And his family tells us they're not sure why he was in this neighborhood. One of his friends who came out here says he last saw him at 2 o'clock this morning, and he told him he was going home to the...
Now, why would a man be in a certain neighborhood, in this ratchet neighborhood? You're going to hear exactly what's going on. 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning in these ratchet neighborhoods. Listen up. You're going to see why.
Lauderdale Manor area. Of course, if you have any information that law enforcement could use, give Crime Stoppers a call. We're live near Fort Lauderdale this afternoon. Erica Rako, Local 10 News.
You know, first I want to give a shout out to the Broward Sheriff's Office deputies who solved this case, because even if the outcome is not what the family wanted or what his wife wanted, they did solve this case within a matter of 2 months. And we do have a conclusion as to what happened to Mr. Ferris Finley. Now, 2 weeks later, I guess the Broward County Sheriff deputies got some tips, and they went ahead and they arrested Mr. Larry Bostic, 38 years old, on premeditated murder charges.
That's the one.
And as they were getting information from him, they were still talking to family member and friends as to why he was in this particular area that was miles away from his house. And relatives, you know, still said they're not sure why Mr. Ferris Finley was in that neighborhood where he was killed. One of his friends...
You are soon going to find out why. And it's shocking.
Said that he had last saw him at 2 a.m. on that Tuesday morning, and said that Finley told him that he was going home to the Lauderdale Manor areas, which is where he lived, which is miles away from where his the shooting took place. And investigators still continue to investigate. Talked to Mr. Larry Bostic, who they had in custody, and then he went ahead and told them exactly what happened, and that is that Larry Bostic, this 38-year-old man here on the right, along with his boyfriend, this gentleman here on the left, Mr. Derek Slade, 21 years old, wanted money to celebrate Mr. Larry Bostic's birthday. So his boyfriend Darius Slade here was working as a male prostitute in the Fort Lauderdale area, and they decided that the first person they came upon that night who had stopped to get Mr. Slade's services, they would kill and rob, and that man was Mr. Ferris Finley.
Mr. Finley, the nice guy. He's in the neighborhood. There's these two gay guys out there that are male prostitutes. That's why he was in that neighborhood. Okay? Now, these two male prostitutes have already made up their mind. The next client that comes here and asks for our services, we're going to rob him. We're going to rip him and take off everything that he has. Okay, this is a married man. Keep in mind. He has a wife. He has children. But he's living on the down low. Let's listen in further.
Now, as it went on, there was a third man who was involved who has not, they haven't captured this man. They don't have any details on him. They just know it was a third man involved. And I'm sure they're going to, have him in custody soon. But I just want to deal with this topic here, with these two gentlemen right here. It is a sad thing that happened to Mr. Farius Finley, and I don't want to sound like I'm not sympathetic or empathetic to his family and everything on this. And, it's a sad thing that this man was a contractor. He, an independent contractor. He worked in construction plastering, and he was he did his thing. He worked, he took care of his wife, he took care of his kids. All of that is good, but he had a secret life, and that secret life was when his wife was out of town, he chose to go pick up a male prostitute, and that cost him his life. And it's sad because on these videos, I'm always telling women, y'all talking about I'm always hard on the women, but I am, because I'm a social worker and I know what's going on out here, and I know how people can say they love you and they want you and they want to be with you. And this is not only the women, it's with men too. We really don't know what people will do. We only know what people will do when they're in our presence, or if we kind of catch them on certain things. Then we can say, okay, this person.
Give me your take on what do you think about men who are living on the down low. I'm very that this topic touches me closely, because my sister-in-law, she died because my brother was living on the down low, and he ended up infecting her with the AIDS virus. Okay, this is when they just had AZT. They didn't have all the advancement that they have today. He was sitting up there living on the down low, and my sister-in-law had to lose her life because of this. And now, from what we hear here, this man, he lost his life living on the down low. You see? This man could have came around, infected his wife. You pull your stuff out of somebody's feces out of their behind, and then you're ready to go put that up in your wife's womb and all of this crazy nonsense. You just got through tonguing down some man or licking out of some man's whatever, and then you're going to come and kiss your wife and probably your children. I mean, are you serious?
And, they seem to be loyal. They seem to be committed. But this man here, Mr. Farius Finley, had 2 kids. He was married. His wife happened to be out of town the day that he went to pick up a male prostitute. And because of that, it cost him his life. Yep. He didn't know that day that he was going to pick up this man, that was going to be his last day on earth. And it's really sad because his wife and his family members, even though this may not be the outcome they wanted or something they didn't want to know about, it happened. And his wife know, his sisters know. And they were saying, well, we didn't know why he was in this area. Now you know why he was in that area at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Thank you.
And it's a sad situation. And again, I feel so sorry for his family, his children, and even his wife, who probably didn't know this side of his lifestyle. But at the end of the day, as I've always stated on my videos, when it comes to women and men, even with the Pamela Stigler situation, that teacher who was in Fort Lauderdale too, who had that sexual encounter with that boy, her husband, Kenneth Stigler, at home, Stigler, did not know that his wife, who he had been married to, this actress, was out here having sex with some of her 15-year-old students.
How disgusting.
We don't know what people will do when we're in relationships with them. All we know is what they do when they're in front of us. And I don't want to jump off the subject of Mr. Darius Slade, 21 years old, who's dating this 38-year-old Larry Bostic, these two who were lovers. I don't want to, not to leave them unscathed because...
Well, sorry.
Because... you're 38 years old, man. At 38 years old, you should be able to go out and get a job, or to have a job already, some kind of income, and to use this 21-year-old boy to go out there and to set somebody up so you and another guy could rob them. And it's like, this stuff does not only happen when it comes to male prostitutes. This stuff happens a lot when female prostitutes and transgender prostitutes are prostituting in general, where people are setting people up and you thinking you finna just have an exchange of services. You giving me service, I'm giving you money, and that's it, I'm gone.
Personally, me, I think anytime somebody's going out there looking to pick up prostitutes, they need to get something done to them. They want to sit up here and encourage people to go out there and degrade themselves. You're out there at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning scrounging around. Yeah, I remember somebody was telling, this puts a memory in my head about my ex-narc. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody sees him picking up some transvestite. How sick. He's supposed to be at home somewhere claiming he was home. It was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but he didn't think people was going to see him. And of course they saw him, and guess what they did? Started blowing up my phone. 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it was 3:30. What the hell are you doing out there at that godforsaken hour anyway, unless you up to no good? So, that man, who's whatever, he got what he got. Hey. He got what he got.
But the thing is, you picking up this woman on the street, you picking up this man or transgender on the street, and they got 3 of their homeboys in the alley. They taking you to a remote place, or somebody's following you in a car, and when you get there, your pants are down to the ground, and somebody coming up robbing you. They coming up, they done shot you, or they, beat you up, taking your car, taking your money, and just left you there for dead.
That's what I said. I pray that happens to my ex-narcissist. I hope he goes out there to pick somebody up and they set up here and they got their homeboys following behind. They get them in the alleyway somewhere. You got your pants all down. Yeah, you're vulnerable now. Take the car, take the money, beat them to a pulp. That's what you get for trying to degrade people and trying to encourage that type of filth. I hope they beat them bloody. Filthy pigs.
And the other thing that happened, that Mr. Finley could have put his family in danger, because there have been situations where people have stopped for prostitutes or who have met people on these different apps and websites, and the people have robbed them and taken their wallets and all their information, and they have taken their car, and went to those people's house because now they got your key. He could have put his wife and his children in danger as well.
That's right.
And this is just to go to show that we all have to be mindful about who we date. We have to ask those serious questions. We have to investigate. Yeah, we have to investigate. I believe everybody needs to investigate about the people who say they love you. We need to know people by their works, by their actions. All of this stuff, his mama say he a good guy, his auntie say, and the pastor say, man, forget all that. What do you say? You have to live with him. You got to sleep with him. And that goes for women too. They are same thing where we have women who get caught up in situations. Oh, she's a nice married wife, but she met some guy on Plenty of Fish. She met some other guy on Christian Mingle and had an outside, affair on her husband.
And if that happened with her, then make she get the beat down too. I've heard of numerous times where a woman has met someone on one of these dating sites and she's trying to sneak around and whatever. She ended up getting she was a bloody mess. Tell me that's not bravo. Goody, okay? Because these are nothing but narcissists. Tell me that this gay man who's married, got 2 kids, sneaking around, laying up with other men on the side, don't care how he's going to infect his wife or hurt his household. Tell me that's not a narcissist. No empathy, no compassion, don't give a damn. It's all about him and only him. He don't care. Neither do those women. That's why I see a lot of women out here who are homeless and a lot of women out here who are doing poorly. A lot of the times you don't know what's going on. They may be reaping what they sow. How many of women's husbands have you laid up with? Just like these prostitutes. They don't care if it's your husband. They don't care about wrecking your home. So when you hear these stories about prostitutes getting cut up and knifed up, goody for them. Goody. That's what you get. You're not supposed to be doing filthy crap like that anyway. So you get what you get. Like he got what he got. I say bravo. That's my idea of justice. It's a beautiful thing.
And now the man she's with want to come back and kill her husband or do this. I mean, we really don't know what people will do.
That's right. You
And this
get
is
what you
just a
get.
sad situation for everybody involved. And, you know, the news people, they really didn't want to go big with this story after they found out that this man was involved in some type of, homosexual activity, picking up a male prostitute, and therefore that ended his life. But this is what the news people came out with in their blog, that the case has finally come to a conclusion. We found out why this guy was shot almost, at around between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. in the morning. He was out looking for prostitutes. And this is not just to single him out, because if you Google men who've been killed by prostitutes or who've been set up by prostitutes, we're going to find thousands of stories in all these areas around the world. This stuff happens.
This is true. This stuff happens all the time. And I'm looking at a lot of the comments here. And one person here says, down low men see one of the reasons. Down low men, this is one of the reasons there is a high rate of HIV in the African American. I don't believe in the African American, to be honest, because as quick as these other races drop, they have sex with anything and anybody, but they want to try to make it seem like the HIV is high in the African American. I don't believe that at all. All these other promiscuous other races, really, I don't believe that. I don't believe that hype, honey. Anyway, this is the reason why you have so many people catching this virus. This 40-year-old man, he's a down low coward. Why didn't he just divorce his wife and live his truth? The murderers were just gay savages looking out to play tricks. You know? They say they feel so bad for the wife and for the family. And I do too. There was one person here who made a comment which I totally agreed 110%, really. This person here says, I have some good news. Black men are swirling with white women. Since they've been swirling with white women, the HIV for black women have dropped and decreased by 42% as of 2015. And the HIV rate is increasing also among the Asian population. So while they're out here swirling with these other cultures, you'll notice that the HIV rate for the ebony women is dropping. Hey, do you? Whatever. You want to take chances with these filthy down low Negroes, man? You go ahead. Personally, be honest with you, I think my own viewpoint, a lot of them, not all of them, don't get it twisted. That are swirling with these Caucasian women, most of these these black men are on the down low anyway, because they feel, and this is not necessarily true, so don't get me wrong, or don't take it wrong, but they feel that Caucasian women, they're down with anything, they'll put up with anything, threesomes, whatever. And that's not necessarily true, because I have my vanilla sisters, and trust me, they have morals, the ones that I associate with. But you have a whole lot of them, these black men, they're under the impression that with these Caucasian women, you could be on a down low. They don't care. Anything goes with them. That's my personal view. I'm sorry. Most of these black men that you see out here swirling, yeah, we hire an investigator and check out how they really living. Let me see. What was this? It was something this person said, and it made so much sense. Wow, this person says this brings tears to my eyes. Yeah. I can't find that person right now, but he made it very graphic, where he was saying, you pull your penis out of somebody's feces and they rectum, and then you go on and have sex with your wife, putting that all up in her womb and all of this dirty, nasty stuff. It's disgusting. It really is. It's disgusting. Now I'm sharing this video with you. This is what narcissists are capable of. I'm going to share some other videos with you about what's going on with these other people, and this shows you what they're capable of. Because anytime you could do things like this and don't bat an eye, you have no guilt. How long has he been doing that? You think he lost sleep? You think his conscience beat him morning, noon, and night? I don't think so. That's a narcissist, and that's what they're capable of. And I know numerous narcissists that I've experienced one, and yeah, he got down like that too. He knows who he is, for real. I know, baby, I see you. I know. Trust me, I know. Anyway, you always have a choice. Sheila True Love will talk again. I'm disgusted.